Hello and welcome to the LinkedIn workshop. I'm going to be going over both kind of the business company pages of LinkedIn and the personal pages of LinkedIn. So LinkedIn's considered a social media platform, and the agenda for this lecture is an introduction on LinkedIn, marketing with LinkedIn, setting up a LinkedIn page, content strategies, and then a little bit on advertising. Now there's a lot to learn about LinkedIn, so we have about 45 minutes here. I'm going to go over all the basics with you and then give you the resources if you'd like to learn more about LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a lot of tutorials, and also the Career Center at Miracosta College offers assistance on building your LinkedIn and helping you with your resume. So it's a great resource to have on campus. So a little about me. I'm Professor Janovic, and I actually transferred from Miracosta College to UC San Diego. I graduated from UC San Diego with a bachelor's in visual media arts, so that was photography, graphic design, and video. My internship, which I was very thankful to have a paid internship, was with Tony Hawk's 900 Films. I was the production assistant, which means I helped the video editor with anything he needed with producing TV shows, movies, and helping Sony with video games. So that was a really cool internship. I studied abroad in Florence, Italy for a summer semester, and when I graduated college, I first had production positions such as graphic design, computer programming, and project management. That went more into marketing positions such as web to print, direct mail marketing, email marketing, and social media marketing. And as I continued to grow up the career ladder, I had leadership roles such as a marketing director. When I was in the leadership role of marketing director, I decided to go back to school, and I went to grad school at Cal State San Marcos, and I got a master's in business administration. After I got my master's, instead of going back to the corporate world, I decided to go the entrepreneur route, and I launched Janovic Communications, where I'm a marketing consultant. Whoops, sorry about that. A marketing consultant, content creation. I do social media management, ambassador, and influencer programs. I'm at the point now where all of my clients are in the running industry. I'm passionate about running and trail running and ultra running. So my clients are race directors and running companies such as Endurance Race Series, Injinji Toe Socks, Spring Energy, North County Beer Run, and the Double Peak Challenge. I'm also the founder of UltraBuds and Ghost Runners Coaching. UltraBuds is a social running group that's been around for about 7-8 years now, and Ghost Runners Coaching is my second business that my business partner and I started, where we actually coach athletes. So I am a certified RRCA running coach. I'm a professor both at Miracosta and Cal State San Marcos, where I teach social media marketing, principles of marketing, business communications, and personal branding. So as I said, I'm a big runner. I'm an ultra runner, meaning I do races that are more than 26.2 miles. I actually have my first 100-mile race in January. I also do obstacle course racing, so Spartan races. I've done the sprints, the stadiums, the mountain series, and I just most recently finished my first Spartan Ultra Beast, which was 32 miles and 64 obstacles. I'm a big backpacker and hiker. I've done Mount Whitney, the 6-Pack of Peaks, the 52 Hike Challenge, and my husband and I rescue pit bulls. So we have Romanoff and Dally, our two little pain in the butts. You might hear them in the background barking, but hopefully their bones will keep them occupied right now. So just a little insight for those of you that are maybe thinking about going the entrepreneur route. I worked really hard on launching my company. I used all the tools that were given to me at all my experience and education. In January 2018, I established Janovic Communications, also Janocom for short. By March 1st, I had my business plan written, my mission statement. I met with my CPA. I got all my business stuff in the back end taken care of and streamlined. On March 8th, I actually launched Janovic Communications with 4 clients, and yes, 2 of them are family members, but hey, family members need social media too, depending on what business they're in. One was a friend, and one was a response to an ad that I found on Craigslist. By July 2018, I had 11 clients and was at full capacity of working 40 hours a week. So some of the clients I only spent 2 or 3 hours a week on. Other clients I spent more time on. And by December 2018, I had the same gross income at the same level of a corporate senior position. So very successful first year. However, I was not just sitting around waiting for business to come to me. I was out there working hard every day, trying to get business and networking. So I highly recommend the power of networking. Now's the time to network while you're figuring out your career path. LinkedIn is a great tool to do networking online, but you need to be able to network in person too. So now that things are opened up, you can do that. The school has networking events that they share with you. Some of the memberships that I'm a part of or used to be a part of was the Cal State San Marcos Alumni Board, MBA chapter vice president, San Marcos Chamber of Commerce. There's also an Oceanside Chamber of Commerce, the Taste of San Marcos Board. I was a co-chair of that event for 2 years in a row. Business Builders Network, I'm still a current very active member. Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce, North County Philanthropy Council, which this group here is kind of like a Chamber of Commerce just for North County nonprofits. So if you're into just nonprofits only, this is the group you want to join. At Cal State San Marcos and both at Miracosta, where I'm a lecturer, that's networking. I'm constantly networking with my colleagues and students and other professors. My running groups that I'm a founder of, that's networking as well. Because when I meet new people, I ask them, hey, what do you do? Who does your social media? And then it goes from there. So that's just a little background about me. If you have more questions on that, you can connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'd be happy to help you out with that. So moving on to LinkedIn here. And again, I'm going to go over some of the stuff with the company pages and some of the stuff with the personal pages. So learning outcomes of this is to understand the business value using LinkedIn for marketing, know how to create and optimize a LinkedIn account, understand the components of a LinkedIn post, implement a LinkedIn content strategy, and understand how to advertise on LinkedIn through various targeting options and objectives and ad formats. So an introduction to LinkedIn. What does LinkedIn do? It builds brand awareness, it engages with employees and customers, it fosters engagement, it attracts and interacts with the target audience. A company page is also a great place for professionals to gain insights into the life inside a company and search for and apply for jobs posted directly to LinkedIn company pages. So if you're looking to apply, maybe you're looking to relocate or you want to learn more about the company or how they are with the people, visit their company page and see what it's about. You can visit the section that says people, and you can check out different job titles. Maybe you can check out a little insight of who's going to be interviewing you, who's going to be your hiring manager, who works in HR. Maybe you have some connections already. Maybe you find out your next door neighbor works for the company that you want to apply for. You just never know who you're connected to. So LinkedIn can show you the tools of connections. So with LinkedIn Business, it's the world's largest professional network with over 740 million users in over 200 countries. So it's a global platform. Today, there are over 60 million senior level influencers, 40 million decision makers, 10.7 million opinion leaders, and 6.8 million C-level executives on LinkedIn. When I mean C-level executives, I mean like CEO, CFO, COO, CMO, meaning Chief Marketing Officer, Chief Executive Officer, Chief Operating Officer, so any of those C-level titles. This is an interesting statistic that might grab you by surprise here. 28% of LinkedIn users are 18 to 29-year-olds, and 37% are 30 to 49-year-olds. 51% of college graduates who are online use LinkedIn. Of those online, 29% are men and 24% are women. 70% LinkedIn users reside outside of the United States. So again, very global platform here. Here is a graphic that kind of illustrates the stats that I just mentioned for those that like the visual instead. So LinkedIn for marketing. LinkedIn is a very great tool to market companies, yourself, businesses, products, services. So think about, why do people engage with LinkedIn? So here are some more interesting stats for you. 60% of people, it's because it's relevant to them. 57%, it's educational or informative. 51%, to stay on top of the latest brands. 39%, because it's inspiring. And 32%, it helps with skill development. So for me personally, the reasons why I'm on LinkedIn is more of because it's relevant to me and it's educational and informative. I'm not necessarily looking at the brands as much, but it's more the people, education and informative. Here are a couple screenshots here. So I post on my personal account. I don't have I do have a company page, but I don't post on my company page because I just have a lot more traction with my personal page. LinkedIn is not a platform that I spend the majority of my time on for my demographic. My demographic's primarily on Instagram, but I do post on LinkedIn and I connect with people and stay in touch with people. So over the summer, I worked on a marketing campaign with Nissan and Ragnar events. So here's a little post here. I tagged the two companies in the post, and here are the images that go along with it. It took place in the Mount Rainier area in Washington. So if you want to read more about that, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Here is a post from a business. This is actually one of my clients here, and they're known for toe socks for running, and they posted a new product, which is gloves and headband for the winter. So that's their new product, and they did a post on that. So marketing right there. With LinkedIn company pages, so I kind of mentioned this already, you can build your brand awareness. It's a great place for professionals to gain insights into life and apply for jobs. So here is a screenshot of a company called Zago, which used to be called Payless, and they're in the San Diego area. When you click on jobs, they have a whole list of all their jobs, applications right here, descriptions, and you can just apply now. They make it super easy on LinkedIn to apply for jobs. So really great resource for those who are looking to apply for jobs here. So when it comes to optimizing your LinkedIn page, it's just the same as optimizing for any other social media page. You want to really make sure that you're using the page to its fullest capacity and you're putting in all the information that you can because you want people to know about you. So what's important about optimizing your profile? It boosts the visibility of a company in the search results. You can add a cover image and profile picture to the page. The About Us section is used to describe what the company does and its specialties. You can add a detailed description to the section and make sure to enter important information like your company website, address, headquarters, location, year founded, company type, company name. So a lot of information you can take advantage of here. So here's a screenshot of Viasat, which is a corporate company located in North County, San Diego. They have about 4 campuses. A lot of Maricosta and Cal State San Marcos alum work there, get jobs there. Great company for internships. And so here's kind of basic here. You can fill out this information. You have images, documents, videos. You can visit their website. Basic info here. Here's another screen capture overview of what they're all about, their website, industry, company size. You can also fill in all this information for a personal page as well. So here's kind of what a personal page looks like. This is my page here. You have your cover picture, your profile picture, name, title. You have a little pencil here in all different sections so you can make edits and you can add sections. You can edit your public profile and URLs to make it so that it's not just a bunch of numbers. It actually says linkedin.com-ijanovic as an example. And for the personal page, it's more of a resume. So you can easily copy and paste the information from your resume to LinkedIn. So here's About section, which is kind of like a summary of a resume. You have your activity here, which includes all your posts, maybe it includes comments you've done, anything you've shared. And then we get to your experience section, which is like your resume. So you can fill this out as much information as you want, where you worked, when you worked, what you did, your job title. For teachers, it's kind of basic here, but when you get into other positions that I was in the past, there's a lot more information on the job skills and tasks that I had to do. So that's all in here. You can actually connect with the company if they're on LinkedIn. You can add all your education in here. You can add all your licenses and certifications. So even something as simple, if you had a professor had you do the Hootsuite platform certificate, you can add that in there as well. This is where you want to show what you're all about and your skills, even if it's just volunteer experience. All of my volunteer work's in here. You got your skills, endorsements. People can endorse you for different skills at your past jobs. Maybe you worked on big projects in school and you worked with a team or an advisor. You can ask people for recommendations and have people do recommendations for you. And you can even put in all your accomplishments and organizations. So all the organizations that I'm a part of are on here, and my different interests. So there's a lot of information you can put on your LinkedIn page, and there's a lot that you can learn about other people. So kind of moving back here to the company pages, some other options that you can do for company pages is that you can add a LinkedIn showcase page. And what this is with brands, the bigger brands that have more than one kind of business line or product line, you can add a showcase page. So an example would be Amazon. They have a bunch of different products and services, so they have a showcase page that shows them all. Like, look how big a company this is. Amazon's crazy. You can add product pages if you're a business, so you can connect a company's products with LinkedIn's professional network to help generate leads and grow your business. So here's a screenshot here of a product page for Trello. Again, you can add career pages. So if you're in human resources, or maybe you're an owner of a company and you're looking to hire staff, this is a great place to recruit new hires. It might be a paid service with certain companies. LinkedIn has their free account and then they have paid accounts. So it really just depends what level you're on. Since I don't use a lot of the LinkedIn features, since I have a personal account, I'm just on the free account and it gives me everything I need. But if you're a company, you're going to want to look into what other options and goodies you can get with a paid page, such as career page. Here's a great little YouTube video you can click on here. I won't do it for this lecture here, but if you want to learn more about the career page in LinkedIn, you can click on that YouTube video. My company tab, now this is a new feature in LinkedIn that just came out in 2020. And what it is an employee-only space for employees to stay connected, engage with each other, and celebrate accomplishments. The goal is for companies to be able to cultivate an engaged employee community. And employees are 60% more likely to engage with posts from coworkers and 14 times more likely to share their organization's page content. I personally have not participated in the My Company tab since I'm not part of a company, but it sounds like a great concept, and I highly recommend that you guys at least look into it for those that are running a company page. It looks really cool and it's really new, so I haven't really heard much feedback on it yet because of how new it is. So next we're going to kind of talk about the components of an actual post on LinkedIn. So we kind of talked about the basics of how to create your page. If you need more specific help, there are tutorials on LinkedIn on how you can create your pages. And again, you can visit the Miracosta Career Center if you need assistance on that as well. So the components of a post here. It's pretty similar to any other social media platform. So for a company update and even a personal update, your post should be about 150 characters or fewer. So they're more of a shorter post. You want to have call to action links, which can include a link to an ebook, a blog post, case study, company webpage, third-party article, video, or something different. Now, if it's a personal post, you may not have a call to action page unless you're maybe like a sales rep. But even then, you're not going to have a call to action on every single post. And we'll get into that details a little later. Images, you can use visual appeal and use real people or unexpected images. And videos, native video function allows autoplay with newsfeed, or you can use a YouTube or Vimeo link. YouTube links happen to work the best. So here's kind of an example here of an image being used by Hunter Industries. Hunter Industries is another really good company that has great internship programs for students, entry level to senior level positions. They are actually located in North County, San Diego as well. Then they work really good with the schools. So here's a post of them. This is an actual employee person, so they're using a real person, a real image. So kind of here, real people, unexpected image here. Result in in these images will give you result in a 98% higher comment rate. You should always include company branding, themes, and colors for brand recognition and consistency. So see how they kind of added this little thing to graphic here. Use visual appeal and use real images or unexpected images. So definitely a real image. This could have just been taken with an iPhone and then they added their little graphic here. So really good post right here. Video. So here's a video on, I think GoPro has the best videos because, that's their product doing videos. So I always use them as an example here. But native video function allows autoplay within the news feed. Facebook does this as well. Or you can use YouTube or any sort of link here. So either one works fine. Polls. So this is a fun feature in LinkedIn. Very new. It was introduced in 2020. There's a polls feature in Facebook too, so it's kind of cool that LinkedIn has one now. Polls help individuals and companies engage with members by asking their opinions, and it's a good way to get market research and to engage in conversations about their findings. So, super simple poll here. What's the best email sign off? Sincerely, thanks. No sign off. Best wishes and warmest regards. So, really cool. This particular post here had over 55,000 people participate. So, what a great way to get engagement. Stories is another new part of LinkedIn. If you're familiar with Instagram, they have a stories and it features videos that disappear in 24 hours. So it could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, you never know. But this showcases professional moments with their network without having the content permanently attached to their profile. So it disappears in 24 hours. I haven't really heard much feedback on LinkedIn stories. I've never used LinkedIn stories, but I do use Instagram stories on the regular basis pretty much every day. So hopefully this will be a successful tool for people. So moving on to content strategies. So how do you strategize for content for LinkedIn? So you always want to post relevant content, such as industry news, tips, best practices, events are a big one. Post a variety of different type of content, such as ebooks, SlideShare presentations, infographics, blog posts, case studies. And this is more, maybe this is more for businesses, but you can also do this for personal stuff too. If you're, maybe you sell real estate and you're using your personal page to sell real estate, you can post case studies on real estate, infographics, blogs that other people or yourself have written, ebooks on the real estate market. So this works for both company pages and personal pages. You want to keep your posts short. Remember that people have very short attention spans. You want to be creative in your posts, and you want to post regularly and at optimal times. Now, what does regularly and optimal times mean? Well, regularly means consistency. So whether it's once a week, 3 times a week, once every 2 weeks, just make sure you stay consistent. There are actually third-party scheduling apps such as Hootsuite, Sprinkler, and Buffler where you can schedule your posts ahead of time. So maybe you schedule all your posts for the whole month and then you don't have to worry about it. Other people just schedule when they can on LinkedIn. So, but the best way to stay regular and consistent is to use a third-party application such as Hootsuite. And again, with these third-party apps, they do have free versions and paid versions. It just depends how often you're going to use them, what level you're at, how many people are on your staff, how big is your company, etc. Optimal times, what exactly does that mean? Well, that's something you're going to have to test. You want to post at 6 a.m., you want to post at 9, at 12, at 3, at 5, 6, 7 p.m., and see what kind of engagement you get. And you're going to notice that you get more engagement at different times of the day. So that's definitely something you're going to want to test in the beginning. And then once you kind of figure that out, then you know what time to post at. So here is another example of Viasat. I really like their LinkedIn, so I use them for a lot of examples here in class. So they post a variety of different posts. They actually are a communications company that is contracted by the government. They do a lot of government contracts and they do a lot of satellite work. So here is a post, an educational post about satellite stuff, communications, and then here's a post of some of their employees at, I don't know what they're at, a conference or a picnic or something. So this is more behind the scenes, real life employees, and here's more educational about the product. So they have a really great variety of the type of content that they post. It's not all just like salesy. When it comes to social media platforms and LinkedIn as well, we kind of have this thing called the 4-1 rule. You don't want to be salesy all the time in every single one of your posts. You don't want to like push a product or a service on people on every single post. So there's the 4-1 rule, which means for every piece of self-promotional content a brand shares, that brand, which could be you could be your brand, should share 4 pieces of content from other people. So you could reshare an article, a blog post. It's just not all about you. And it shows that you're have expertise and experience in the field, and that you know who to follow. You also follow industry leaders, and you're not just investing your time in this industry, in this niche, but you're also sharing your findings with your followers as well. So it's just not all about sales. So remember that. And when it comes to scheduling posts on the Hootsuite or Buffer, whatever you choose, it helps you kind of look and lay things out in a calendar setting so that you know, hey, okay, every 4 posts I'm going to do a self promotion or a salesy post. And that really helps kind of lay out all the content there. You want to think mobile. The majority of people are on their mobile devices, and LinkedIn has a really easy app to use on your mobile device. It's pretty nice, and it's really great to use when you're at networking events, conferences. Instead of asking people like, hey, where's your business card, you ask them, hey, let's connect on LinkedIn. You get out your phones, you connect right then and there, and you don't have to worry about losing a business card. So it's pretty nice. Also, if you're on Instagram or Facebook, maybe that's the way you want to connect. But LinkedIn is the more professional way of connecting with people on the platform without really knowing them that well. Facebook is a little bit more personal, and Instagram, it really just depends on the person and the page. So you want to use A/B testing when you post. A/B testing means you take the exact same content and maybe you just change the title, or you change the time you post, or you just change the image, and you test A and you test B, and you see which one gets more interaction, which one gets more engagement, and then in the future the type of content that your audience is going to respond to. There's also LinkedIn groups, and I won't get too much into LinkedIn groups here, but I'll just show you a little bit of what LinkedIn groups is all about. And I also have a YouTube video here to share with you if you want to watch this to learn more about LinkedIn groups. So here's a way where you can share content, find answers, post and view jobs, and make business contacts. A great group to join if you're a person who's trying to learn more about the industry, trying to get to know the industry, other influencers in the industry. Maybe you want to connect with fellow realtors, or what I call power partners. Maybe you're a realtor and you want to connect with loan officers or a title company, or you do hair and you want to connect with people who are manicurists, that sort of thing. So if you scroll down to people's LinkedIn profiles, you're going to see a section here called interests, which are also groups. You can click on see all, and you can see everyone's groups here. And it's kind of nice to see what other groups that other people are on as well. So here are the companies I follow, groups, and schools. So we'll go to groups here. Let's see, what do we have? It's a good one to click on. Some of them are really small, 26 members. Some of them are larger, 2,700 members. Some of them are very large, like this one here has 274,000 members. And you can either post in the group, or you can just kind of read and interact and answer people in groups here. And this is a huge group. It's global. You might learn some things. You might be able to connect with people, share interests, ask questions if you're struggling with something. So really similar to Facebook groups. All right, so other content strategies that we have for LinkedIn is to mobilize employees. So when employees like, comment, and share company-related content, the visibility of that content increases. This so if you have a big company and you have 20,000 people on your company and they're all on LinkedIn, and you post a piece of content on your company page and you say you have only half that amount of employees repost it, well, that's 10,000 people who just shared your post. So user generated content is what we like to call it. UGR, user generated, or UGC, excuse me, user generated content. So that's more for a business page instead of a personal page there. So leverage executives and subject matter experts are considered thought leaders and influencers. An example would be Red Door Interactive. Reed Carr is a CEO. He's very active on LinkedIn. I also follow other leaders and influencers in the San Diego area. Reed Carr also does a lot of internships, and he works with students. So that's a really good company to look into if you're into marketing and learning more about advertising. Look up this company here and see what internships they have available. And you want to leverage influencers. So yes, just like other platforms, LinkedIn has influencers as well. So here's kind of a screenshot here, just a couple of Reed's posts that he does. And, it's not huge amount of engagement, but he's active. He's a CEO for a local San Diego company, and he's active. He posts stuff. He posts not just product his products or services that come up, but he posts just best practices. He wants to help and give information to people. I actually was able to meet Reed Carr when I was in grad school. I worked with him and was able to interview him for a school project. So he was very helpful with that, and I got to meet him in person. Really great guy. Again, connect with this company and connect with him if you want to learn more about marketing and advertising. Speaking of advertising, so now kind of moving on to advertising here, and LinkedIn, there's a whole section of advertising. It's similar to Facebook Blueprint, where if you want to do advertising just for Facebook, then that's what you learn. Whoops. Too much stuff going on here. All right, closed all those windows. So with advertising with LinkedIn, the same thing. You can do extra tutorials in LinkedIn. You can learn how to do advertising. You can hire LinkedIn advertising strategists if you want to help you. But here we're just going to go over kind of the basics of what LinkedIn offers for advertising. So here's a rundown here of LinkedIn ads and objectives. So we have awareness piece, we have the consideration piece, and we have the conversion piece. So when it comes to awareness, we have brand awareness. You get more people to know your brand through impression-based campaigns. And through the consideration piece is actually where we have the website visits. So people actually visit your website. And you get more people to visit your website. You're driving people to your website. That's, an objective of advertising. You want people to go to our website and you want them to make a conversion, which is the last step here. But also in consideration, we have engagement, which drives clicks, social actions, and company page follows. And we have video views. So you tell your product or business a story through video. Video creates a lot of engagement. You can get a lot of information in a short amount of time. So for people who have short attention spans, videos work great. And it's just a great way to capture people's attention span. And then you really want a conversion. So with lead generation, you get leads using a form. Maybe it's pre-filled with LinkedIn member information. You can write code to do that. Website conversions, you can drive valuable action on your website, such as collecting leads or downloading ebooks. And job applicants, you can promote job opportunities to your company. So those are great examples of conversions. And that's really what you want. You want a conversion, you want to grow, and you want to make sales. You want ROI, which is return on investment. So some of the types of ads here are sponsored content, where you amplify your content to reach a wider audience than you could organically and draw new eyes to your company page. Conversation ads, which enables advertisers to add clickable call to action buttons within a message ad to make it more engaging and interactive. Message ads, which were used to be called sponsored in-mail for those that are familiar with LinkedIn. And this delivers personalized messages to the LinkedIn inbox of LinkedIn members. LinkedIn also offers a seamless pre-filled lead generation forms to serve as a call to action for sponsored in-mail. So this here would definitely be a paid feature of LinkedIn. Text ads, these are pay-per-click ads that appear on the LinkedIn homepage, profile pages, group pages, search result pages, and more. So here's kind of an example of a sponsored in-mail here, or a message advertisement from a person here. I don't even know what she's trying to sell, but she sends me messages, wants me to listen to her podcast, private invite, click on different events. I think she might be a realtor or something to do with financing, but here's kind of an example of the messages she sends me. But, I got to give her credit. This is good advertisement here. She's sending me links to Vimeo, links to YouTube, and it's all videos and graphics that she's using to come be a part of. So here's another type of sponsored in-mail message. So this is coming from someone of Affirm, which is interesting because I have this Affirm advertisement on the right here with LinkedIn. And you can see it actually says sponsored up here. So for sure it's a sponsored ad. And he's trying to sell me something because I'm a professor at Miracosta. So contact sales, tell me more first. So that's a great example of a sponsored ad right there. So a few different types of ads here are the dynamic ads, which allow brands to target decision makers and influencers with personalized and customizable creatives. Job ads, This allows companies to promote job opportunities and drive applicants, and lead generation forms, which allows companies to generate higher quality leads that are pre-filled with accurate LinkedIn profile data, letting members send companies their information with just a few clicks. So they make it pretty easy for everyone these days. Some tips on how to generate leads. So for those of you that are using this more for selling, social selling is what I like to call it. Your LinkedIn summary should convey your value. So you want to write a company summary that makes your prospects feel like you understand their problem and you have solutions. They need to be confident in your skills and your expertise. Focus on topics that you are an expert at. Demonstrate by what you are posting that you are the expert. And once you start outreach, know what to say. If you're reaching out for the first time, give the recipient some context. Now, this is with more of the company page, the business page part. So if you look here, we got a sponsored ad. He mentions who he is. I'm the head of sales at a firm, and MiraCosta College caught my attention as I believe there's an opportunity for MiraCosta College to accelerate revenue with pay over time. So he's trying to find a solution for a possible problem that he thinks I have. By offering shoppers flexible payment options, our merchant partners see higher average order values and customer satisfaction. Would you like to learn how we can help and drive more sales for your business? So that's kind of his call to action there for that. Now, moving on to a more personal page where you're not doing as much advertising here. So let me go on to my personal page. You're not going to see that in the About Me section. You're going to learn more about what I do, kind of in a short, just a few sentences here. So I have passionate, creative, and action-oriented marketing professional with over 16 years of marketing and leadership experience, creative background in visual media arts, including photography, graphic design, video production, and computer programming, content marketing expertise, social media marketing campaigns and management, project management skills for successful events, vendor relationships, and community outreach. So really I'm taking all of my skills in my past maybe 10 years and I'm putting them into like 2 or 3 sentences. And it's not easy to write a very short bio like this. I see people who have very long bios. You don't want them that long, you want them short. And if you don't really have that much work experience yet and you're kind of new, you're younger, you can write about you and what you're doing. I'm currently a student at MiraCosta College where I'm passionate about business and marketing, and I'm in the process of achieving my Associates of Arts degree with the plan to transfer to California State University, San Marcos. And you can kind of say in your profile here, student, marketing student. Instead of lecturer at MiraCosta College, you can be marketing student at MiraCosta College. So you can kind of be creative there if you're a student. You can still have a LinkedIn if you don't have work experience, because you're going to have education still. You're going to have some licenses, certifications. If not, then I would look into getting some free ones. Hootsuite does a free one for students. You're going to have volunteer experience, so you can volunteer with different things, and you have skills and endorsements. So you can still have a LinkedIn page even though you don't have that many jobs. And that's why they have the MiraCosta Career Center to help you do that, and why we kind of have workshops like this kind of to help you get along there. Okay, so a little bit more on generating leads here. You monitor your notifications for special occasions to celebrate, birthdays, work anniversaries, promotions, and you can develop email and messaging scripts to move conversations into your sales pipeline. And this is a paid feature here. So some LinkedIn etiquette fails. So this is all stuff you don't want to do. No header image, weak profile picture, weak headline, weak or no summary, no or few recommendations, no personal messages for your invite, and no content worth sharing. So these are all no-nos. And me personally, I actually have to work on my recommendations. I only have one in there, so that's a really bad example. Do not look at my recommendations. So always room for improvement. Now looking ahead here, so some of the top social networking tools for professionals and brands, LinkedIn. It's also one of the top tools for job seekers to find and apply to jobs and engage with recruiters and hiring managers. LinkedIn is a great place to follow and engage with business influencers, and it continues to invest in expanding their social media features such as peer-to-peer messaging, video creation, and enhancement tools like Snapchat style filters and video text overlay. So this is just kind of like a summary of what the platform can do. Now I do want to show you just a few more things here as we finish up this workshop. So I wanted to show you guys just a few more things here. When you're on your LinkedIn page, you're on your feed, you have your toolbar at the top here. When you click on me, that's how you can view your profile. You can set up your settings, manage post activities. If you're linked to a company page, that's where you can see all that. Your job posting account. So if you want to pay for jobs postings, you go there. Now, when you click on this work button here, you're able to view more LinkedIn products. So you can learn more, analytics, post a job, advertise, salary, services, marketplace, groups, and you can find leads. So here, a great little click of the button here. A really cool feature here is the salaries. If you want to see about how much popular job titles make, if you're interested in different careers, you just fill out the information and you can kind of figure out what a salary is by industry. So that's really good information there. When you want to get into advertising, this is where your campaign manager is, and you can learn about LinkedIn's, how to get started, and you can visit different tutorials on how to set up campaigns. Posting a job, if you're a recruiter, HR, this is where you would go to post jobs. Groups, a fast way to look for groups. So here are my groups. Oops, wrong one. Here are my groups right here. You can create a new group. So, hey, maybe the Maricosa doesn't have an alumni association group and you want to create one. You know, you can create a group here, your groups. Sometimes you have to request to become members of a group so you can see your list of who you requested, withdrawal if you want to. Find leads, learning is a good resource here. So you can learn more about how to use LinkedIn. So you can start a free month. They have a free trial. You need to train. Just different things. 6 morning habits of high performers, machine learning with, there's so much different things in LinkedIn that you can just keep looking. Solutions for business solutions, all different resources, courses. I mean, LinkedIn has so much to offer here that people just aren't even aware of, and they keep adding to it too. So, which is also pretty nice. So that's that button there. And then, all these different things here, if you need help, you can use the tutorials and the help section. And if you want to learn more about the different sales solutions, or what I call social selling, there's LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So you can just type this into your Google. You can look up LinkedIn Sales Navigator. You can get a free trial. And this is for people that are more sales reps. So if that's like kind of what you're looking for, I don't have the pricing here in front of me, but they can show you all the different pricing and all the different features that it entails, and maybe it's worth it for you. That's why I always recommend the free trial first. I also wanted to show you this other really cool step here. When you see your name, your LinkedIn name here, see how mine's clean, Ijanovic. When you first have a LinkedIn profile, it has all these different numbers here, and it's kind of, it has nothing to do with you, right? So you can change when you're on your profile page here. You can actually go to edit public profile URL, and it'll pop up a new screen here where you have the ability to edit your profile and personalize it. So I just happen to use first initial last name. You can use your whole first and last name. It's totally up to you. And you want to make sure your profile is on public visibility, and you can change all these different settings here as well. So really great tip right there. And again, it's just on your home page here, edit public profile and URL. So here is the notifications section, and this is where you can see what all your followers are up to. They also tell you when someone has a work anniversary, or maybe when someone has a birthday. So this is a good excuse to engage and talk to someone like, hey, you have a connection here who just celebrated 2 years at their job, a way to say congrats. and you can connect with them, find out what they're up to, maybe what their needs are. And it's just a really easy way to follow up with someone and to keep that relationship, nurturing the relationship. Because there's one thing in creating relationships, but you also have to nurture the relationships, build the relationship. You can't just connect with someone and then forget about them. You need to continue to engage with them and talk with them, whether it be online or in person. So you can see when different people comment on different posts, maybe posts that you've commented on, maybe posts that you're tagged on. Here's one that someone's comments on a post that I was actually mentioned in. You can see when people have viewed your account. Let's see if I can find one here. So someone viewed your profile. If you want to see who's viewed your profile, since this is a free account, I can only see like maybe the last 5 people who've viewed my profile. But if you have a paid account, you can see everyone who's viewed your profile. So that's kind of neat when you're looking for career jobs and you're like, oh my gosh, the recruiter at Affleck is looking at me and I just applied to Affleck. That means they're interested in me. They're looking at my LinkedIn. They're seeing what I have here. Every hiring manager is going to look at your LinkedIn. So you need to make sure that you have it optimize. Remember, that's the key word we learned here, optimize. All right, so that's kind of is the lecture there, workshop for LinkedIn. I hope that I was able to answer a lot of your questions here. If this was a live webinar, I would ask you guys questions, but since this is a recorded lecture, I'm not able to do that. If you have further questions, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Let me know you're a student. And I would be happy to connect with you and answer any questions you have. So thank you for watching this and thank you for taking the time. Hope you enjoy the rest of your class.